Welcome to our Harinam Chintamani, session 8, I believe. And today we are going to recite session 8. And today is also very auspicious Ekadashi. So we are going to offer our Puspanjali also to Mother Ekadashi Devi. And I hope everybody is aware who is Mother Ekadashi. And okay. Your subtle body, please pluck lots of flower, fragrant flower, so we can offer it as we travel. We are going to follow our spiritual master and Prabhupada. As we follow one by one, we'll offer flower or make some garland and offer them and we'll progress. So please join together. गया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति पदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपां साग्रजातां सागना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सागना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्विता नमो ओं विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनीति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे पंचाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमः श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे कृष्णा Mother Neha, Mataji, do you have a devotee who can express their grateful attitude to Prabhupada?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandvat Pranam. Today I don't have any names. So maybe you could ask people to volunteer. Hare Krishna.
I really would. There is no way you can advance and not appreciating our preceptor, Srila Prabhupada. It is not possible. So you have to say even one word. You have to say why you are grateful. Or maybe I did a mistake. I scared you in the WhatsApp. When I send the WhatsApp message, that make sure your acceptance should contain authority backup. The reason I mention this, what you are thinking, what you are feeling, what you are praying, who is baking? What is the difference between the fake dollar and real dollar? Can somebody say, please? What is the difference between the fake dollar versus real American dollar? What's the difference? They look same.
One has value and one has no value.
That's not enough. Something more. Who is going to decide which one is value, which one is not value? Both look same.
So
yes, you can get a tester, probably bank as it. But still, why it is one is valuable?
One is authorized, one is unauthorized.
Because somebody is very good. Somebody is backing. And the duplicate one or imitation one, the person who made a copy also hides. He doesn't want to be caught. It has no value because no backing. So when you pray, make sure your prayers is aligned, backing by a personality who has proven that Krishna has accepted their prayers. Then it will become powerful.
Prabhu, in the chat, I see Sonali
That's why
Mataji
those
wanted.
authorities are important.
So, sorry to disturb, Prabhu. In the chat, I see Sonali Mataji
okay.
wanted to express her
Go ahead,
gratitude
Mother.
to Prabhupada.
Dhanyavad Prabhuji. Am I audible?
Go ahead, Mother.
My sincere obeisances to you, Prabhuji. And I wanted to share something which I personally feel, and I have tried to encourage my students also of my school, because maybe they don't know about ISKCON, but they should be knowing that what should be a relationship between a teacher and a student. And His Grace Srila Prabhupada ji had already proved that to the entire world, and that too at that age. So I feel that he is not only a founder of ISKCON, but he has been an epitome of a student who can follow the Guru, as he had rightly mentioned, that to a Guru, I mean, we are just slaves. We should be always ready for his orders. We should be obliged if little bit of things come upon us from our Diksha Guru or Siksha Guru, and we can do something for that divine soul. So he had proved that. And it is a heartfelt gratitude which I sponsor every year by the grace of the Lord, that we have a prize in which we give the most disciplined student, not necessarily that he has to be a very good academician, but who had been totally devoted to the teacher. And that award is Srila Prabhupada Ji's award. So that is something which I sponsor in my school. And that is something which I feel that I can be a small and what to say, it is a very small, I mean, it is not even in a measure scale, but it's just a tribute to my founder of ISKCON Society and to all my Diksha Guru and Siksha Gurus for whom I am being into this platform today.
Wonderful. Thank you. This gratitude from the student to the teacher or a disciple to the spiritual master is very attractive, and it's actually nourishes more you think about it, the heart. So tomorrow, I mean not tomorrow, Monday, next Monday, is somebody who did not do it, maybe Aditya Narayan Prabhu. I would like to hear from you Monday. Is that okay, Prabhu? Are you there?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. Sure.
Okay. Monday you're going to prepare and you make sure when you are sincerely sharing with us, we would appreciate and we want to adopt that mood. This way we can be profitable if we can share each of our realization, how we accept Krishna with these 6 principles. 5 authority, and last one, the most important one, how you grow up to accept that within you, that Krishna is your ultimate shelter, master, God, whichever way you adore. And I would ask also Mother Nilambari, Mother Shreya Kori, right? Supposed to express her Satta Devata Prabhu. Was it Mother Shreya Kori today?
Yes, Prabhu, it's me today. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Yes, Mother, go ahead.
Okay. I'm having some bad connection. Give one moment. Okay. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavad Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. How do I accept and grow up with Krishna? I think I have enough. I saw you frozen. Since I was a child, I learned to wake up before the sun rises. That was my father's philosophy. I was attracted to Lord Krishna photo on my parents' altar. And I was also fortunate to listen to Bhagavad Gita even before I became a teenager. I can remember what the lecturer said about in years to come, there will be unbearable heat and cold. People will not want to hear the word of God, and they will be materially inclined of killing animals. And due to that, I became a vegetarian. Due to time and place and circumstances, I never heard of Krishna consciousness in my country or even about ISKCON. However, many years later, one day I saw some devotees of various ages dressed in traditional Indian clothes, and it was an unusual sight for me. So I went out to see what was going on. I was curious to know why are these people walking around like that. Then, when they came to my house, they explained they are devotees of Krishna and were in Krishna conscious movement. And that was the first time I ever heard about Hare Krishna. I bought a Bhagavad Gita from them, and they also gave me a Japa beads. And even though I heard Bhagavad Gita before, this was the first time I ever had a close-up look of what a Bhagavad Gita looked like. And first time I was ever holding one in my hands. Also, I learned this is not just Bhagavad Gita, it was Bhagavad Gita as it is. I was fascinated how these devotees were in the street distributing books. They were not chanting as devotees do now, like when they do Harinama. They was just distributing books and Japa beads. And one of the devotees taught me how to chant on the Japa beads. And over the years, I met the devotees only 2 more times and never heard or see them again. I never had any contact again with anyone from Krishna consciousness. But I continued to read my Bhagavad Gita every day and chant as it told me. I used to believe that Srila Prabhupada was too intense in his purport. I could never imagine that people could have bad qualities that really existed. I was young and have no spiritual knowledge nor even material experiences. But I accepted Krishna as a supreme personality of Godhead after reading Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita as it is. I never liked to read the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita. I thought it was too problematic. I always chant on my beads and feeling I am close to Krishna. I talk to Krishna, but after a while, I started to question myself. Am I doing this right? I was reading Bhagavad Gita, but didn't really understand. I believe everything was so difficult to follow, especially when Srila Prabhupada kept saying one must approach a bona fide guru. I will never be able to find a guru, I thought. I had no idea how to inquire. I don't have the qualities. How can I even inquire? Plus, inquiring not something I can do even if I knew how. The one thing that resonated with me in Bhagavad Gita was chapter 9, text 26. Patram Pushpam Param Toyam said, if one offer me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, or a fruit, or water, I will accept. That was the easiest thing I can, and I did that every day, because that I find was the very easiest text in the whole of Bhagavad Gita. Even though Bhagavad Gita was difficult, I continued to read and chant without guidance. I attended Hindu temple regularly, but after some time, I felt I need something more. What was going on in the temple was not resonating what was going on in my heart. Approximately about 7 to 8 years later on the street in New York, Queens, I was so happy when I saw a devotee with a table on the street corner, and I approached him. I bought a couple of small books and he gave me a business card with the address and direction how to reach the Hare Krishna temple in Brooklyn. I kept that business card in my Bhagavad Gita, but it took me another 2 years before I finally went to the temple. I was told Brooklyn was a dangerous place, do not go there. But finally, I decided I will take the trip to the temple. I went and I met one devotee. She was very young and she showed me around and she even gave me a glass of mango juice, which was very delicious. I never had mango since I came to New York City. After that, I went to the temple. My first time in a Hare Krishna temple, the swing festival was going on. And first time in my life, I ever saw deities wearing clothes. And it was the first time I ever saw Srimati Radharani. I heard about Krishna, but never about Srimati Radharani. It was an experience that was in my memories for years. And I thought I was dreaming. However, that night I reached home very late. I wanted to go back to the temple, but the timing was so late. I wish if I did but had service early so I could reach home during daylight. Anyway, I continued to chant on my feed and read Bhagavad Gita with a little more confidence. And I always remember the deities of Radha and Krishna I saw in the temple. I never met devotees again until a few years later, I went to West Virginia on a trip with a congregation from the local Hindu temple. At that time, I had feelings I wanted to become Krishna conscious. Time and place and circumstance was different then, and I can correspond with the temple now, which I did. However, with personal priority and family responsibility, I had a determination and enthusiasm, but I was not committed. I wanted this, but my family would not support me. I was the only vegetarian in the family, and everyone will ask me when you will start eating meat, and I just couldn't make the commitment at that time. But I continue reading. I have more books now, and I read and I chant. And I knew my chanting was just mechanical, but I didn't stop. Then for some personal reason, I had to return back home. And one day while I was visiting a cousin, I was standing in the yard and I saw a temple dome. And I inquired, what temple was that? And the reply was a Hare Krishna temple. I was so happy I made that trip. I went with my in-laws to the temple and the devotees, they were very friendly. I kept going back. I felt so satisfied with the kirtan and lectures. I had the opportunity to attend Rath Yatra for the first time. Then the following years, a preaching center was opened very close where I was living. It was just like a 20-minute walk. Then there was a Padayatra for 1 week, which I attended every day. And later in that year, when it was Krishna Janmashtami, I decided this is it. I finally found the commitment. And then there was a couple of Mataji taught me how to cook, even though I was a vegetarian. I used to eat onion and garlic, and I started to attend classes to become a devotee. However, good things don't last for long. I had to leave and come back to New York. There were a few devotees locally here where I was living, but the weekly program was very rare. But over time, things got better. New devotees joined, and in Krishna consciousness was blooming here. Finally, I got a Shiksha Guru who taught me Bhagavad Gita, the difference between the body and soul, dualities, what is bhakti, action and inaction, and many other topics. I was taught Bhagavad Gita was spoken because of the problem of chapter 1, and I can now safely say that Srila Prabhupada comments was not intense. People really do have these bad qualities. I became more devoted in chanting and perform my deity worship at home with my newfound spiritual knowledge. Srila Prabhupada's teachings became prominent in my life, especially in his nectar of instructions. I always remember Srila Prabhupada said, advancement in Krishna consciousness depends on the attitude of the follower. Because even in this material life, without proper attitude, you cannot get anywhere. My family have started to attend programs in temples, especially West Virginia on Janmashtami. That was an annual ritual for us. The atmosphere was ideal there for the occasion and for the appearance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We met many nice devotees there. Finally, through devotee association and my Siksha Guru, I was able to meet my Diksha Guru. My Diksha Guru follows Srila Prabhupada's instruction very strictly. He doesn't compromise. He is a very ideal sannyasi. He is reachable and always responds to his disciples. Through my spiritual master teachings, I realized I was missing how to inquire and to be committed. Those are my weak points. It is said in the Adi Leela in chapter 2, devotee must have knowledge of Krishna, personal form, history, principal energies, that's internal, external, and marginal, his pastimes, his relationship of the living entities with him in order to advance in Krishna consciousness. To accept and grow with Krishna, I must commit to my spiritual master instructions and must chant with intent to engage in Krishna loving services. I have designed my daily activities to incorporate these teachings. At times it is very difficult, but I must exercise my commitment as a servant to the servant, to the servant, to the servant. That was my journey in a nutshell, how I accept and grow with Krishna. Hare Krishna, thank you.
Wow, what a beautiful journey. I hope you ever, I don't know if you ever met His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami.
No, Prabhu, I never.
Wow. You are very fortunate soul, Mataji. Please keep going and
Thank you, Prabhuji.
share your experience. Wonderful. Thank you. I appreciate that a lot.
Thank you.
Okay, who would like to read today on chapter 8? Aditya Narayan Prabhu, would you like to read?
Prabhu, I'm at work, so sorry.
Oh, okay. How about somebody else who is?
Prabhuji, I will read today if you
Okay.
permit.
Yes. Go ahead.
Interpreting the holy name. Jaya Gaura Gadadhara Sri Radha Madhava Jaya Gaura Leela Sthali Charniva Vaishnava. Haridasa spoke, O son of Sachi, the fifth offense is giving interpretation to the name and its glories. The Smritis or Puranas glorify the holy name of Krishna, stating that if one should chant the name either in negligence or in faith, Krishna will show that person great mercy.
1 second, Mata, 1 second. I want everybody to list.
Yes, Prabhuji.
I want everybody to list 23 glories of Krishna she's going to read. I counted this twice, so it should be met at least 22 or 23. This is something, before you chant, you can look at your note and it will manifest. These are wonderful 23 qualities of Krishna. If you can focus on this quality, you will be absorbed and attentive while you chant. So let's see, as she's reading, if we can count. First one, she just said, Smritis or Purana glorify the holy name of Krishna, stating that one should chant the name either in negligence or in faith. Krishna will show that person great mercy. This is one. Whether you busy or not busy, this is what it says. Okay, number 2, go ahead, Mata, now. You can keep on reading.
There is no knowledge as pure as the name. There is no vow as powerful as the name. There is no meditation more effective than the name, nor is this any fruit greater than that attained by the name. There is no greater renunciation than the name. There is no greater peace than the name. In this world, there is no great pious activity that taking the name, nor is there any quicker progress than in the name. The name is the highest liberation, the highest freedom, the highest destination, the highest peace, the point of no more searching. The name is the highest devotion. The name is the purest inclination of the jiva. The name is the highest love and direct remembrance of the Lord. The name is the cause of all causes, the Supreme Lord, most worshipable, and is the form of Guru to bring one to the Lord. It is stated that 1,000 names of Vishnu are equivalent to one name of Rama, and 3 names of Rama are equivalent to one name of Krishna. The Vedas say that the holy name is purely spiritual, and thus they constantly glorify the name. One
Okay, one
who
second, Mata.
minimizes. Yes.
This is, so up to this, there is 23 qualities of holy name. If you really want to be attentive, you have to focus those 23 qualities. And you can find a pastimes event for each one. Now, if you don't believe, if you think this is exaggeration or not properly translated, then you are going to be an offender. And there's a two types of offender, or at least two source of this people focus and commit offense. See if we can pick it up when she's reading there. Go ahead, Mata.
Should I continue, Prabhuji?
Yes, please.
The Vedas say that the holy name is purely spiritual, and thus they constantly glorify the name. One who minimizes the effect of chanting the holy name, as stated in the Vedas and Puranas, is an extreme offender. The rascal who commits arthavada against the name is doomed to rot away in hell. Some people say that the results of the holy name that are stated in the scriptures are not true, but only meant to attract one to the name. But those persons, due to lack of bhakti, sukriti, lacking faith, cannot understand the real purport of the scriptures or the greatest welfare of mankind. Instead, they will take the opposite interpretation. Because of Karma Kanda section of the Vedas is meant to satisfy one's selfish desire for material gain, for motivational sake, many tempting results are offered. However, in the process of pure bhakti, the candidate practices unselfishness, for the goal of bhakti is unmotivated service to Krishna. Therefore, although the statements concerning the holy name are not exaggeration meant to motivate, but are the true effects of the name, the devotee does not take the name for his own material enjoyment. He does not ask for the fruits mentioned in the scriptures. If one performs the sacrifices prescribed in Karma Kanda with the desire of material gain, that is called cheating. If one has faith and a desire and faith in the happiness of material objects, one will ask for material results from a sacrifice. But if one can execute one's activities without interest in this material results, one's heart will become purified. That is the actual purpose of Karma Kanda. When one's heart is purified, one's interest and test for culturing bhakti begins. By chanting the holy name, bhakti develops and matures. Thus, it can be seen that the end result of Karma Kanda is to come to the taste of the holy name, at least if those activities are done properly. The results one can obtain from chanting the name are far beyond anything one can obtain by wandering in any of the 14 planetary systems. Indeed, the results from the holy name are incomparable. But how can a karmi or jnani obtain these results with their offensive attitude? Just by namabhasa, one can get all the results obtained by the process of karma and jnana. If such results can be obtained by namabhasa, is there need to doubt the great benefit one will get by chanting the pure name? All the glories of the name that are recited in the scripture are accepted as fact by the sincere bhakta. The low class men do not accept this, however, and by their doubting commit offense, which leads them to certain ruin. From the beginning to the end of the Vedas, the Ramayana, the Mahabharata, the Puranas, the name is glorified. To minimize and interpret these glories, which are clearly stated by the authority of the Vedas will yield no good result.
1 second.
The Lord.
That's good. Just hold on to it, Mata. I want
Yes,
somebody
Prabhuji.
to give me some feedback. What you just heard in last one paragraph. Because we do commit. We
Prabhuji,
do
I
not
would like
give
to
that
share.
importance. No, not you. You are reading. You just hold on to it, man. I want somebody else. Let me ask you a question because you are taking long time. If there is a, because this happened to one neighbor here, this lady, she's a psychologist. She told me a story that she was living another city before she moved here. And she had two daughters, teenagers. And in the search, she found out the neighbor, there is a serial rapist was living within like few miles, and she did not even know. But then he somehow or other became a close friend to the neighbor, and he would do things in the courtyard, backyard, and started talking to her daughters. And then when she found out, then she started getting worried. Now, is that a good fear? Who believes it? Or it's not necessary to have a fear like this, that this man could actually be a danger to if we just come so close to my daughters, because he's well known as a serial rapist. Can somebody say yes or no? Is that a good fear that she has?
Yes, yes, Prabhuji, it's a good fear.
Why?
To protect, for the protection of the daughters, it's a good fear.
So, Prabhu, I wanted to add a point here. Like, it's a world and a mind which is contaminated and habitual of crime. One need to be careful about that position because it is into the knowledge. Like, for example, we say that if lion comes in front of you, you run away because it's a threat straight away. You know it. So that sort of fear is right in that sense.
Very good. Very well said. Very good. This fear with a logic and reasoning that this man has done many, serial means that he has done many, and it's a contaminated consciousness, or heart is contaminated. It will not take too long for him, if the opportunity comes, to act again. So this fear is genuine. This fear of arthavad, that committing offense, it is there within all of us. I'm not trying to put label, all of us as a offender. We are. And if we do not recognize that this offensive nature within us, we will not get out of it. Remember, other day we mentioned that chanting Hare Krishna is not automatically. It is intentional. You have to, yes, Hare Krishna Mahamantra is very powerful, but you have to focus where your heart is moving. Emotion, direction of the emotion depicts whether you have a devotion or you are in aversion or actually in corruption. Emotion is not something you wished away. It is there. You have to guide from within where your emotions should be directed. It's not going to, because as Prabhu says, because pre-impression, I hope everybody knows this. You know why you are attracted to particular person or particular things in life that other person is not attracted? I think I discussed that once, no? If there is a beautiful Mataji or a handsome man, why one person is attracted but the other person next to me is not attracted? It's because attraction is coming from pre-impression. If it is not there in your consciousness, in your memory, you will not be attracted. That's why a particular person likes another particular person. And your brother may not like that person you like. Because each of us are, you can say, carrying baggage of impression from time immemorials. Contemplation creates desire, yes. Desire is not automatically coming from previous life. It is a contemplation produced. Dhyato vishayan pungsha sangasteshu upajayate. Krishna says this in 2nd chapter 62 verse. That when you contemplate on the sense object, but then question come, why particularly I am attracted to particular things? This offensive nature, it is there within us. If you are not fully aware of it, you will not get out of it. You can get out of it. Bhakti is so powerful. But you have to be aware that you want to get out of it. I don't want to brag about it. I had a lot of bad quality. I did. I still probably do. But at least I see the power of bhakti. It pulls out. The difference between any other process versus bhakti, the bhakti uproots. The other process only does trimming. The good example is like in the forest, there is a forest fire and seems like the whole mountain is burned to ashes. And after some time when the rain comes, again things puffs from the ground. Question comes that where is this coming from? Nobody saw any seed. Because it is not uprooted. The root is still there. As long those offensive nature will be there in our heart, you can never chant pure name, period. You remember many definitions I gave. One definition was devoid of aparad, devoid of namabas, devoid of bevadhan is pure name. So if we are not fully aware how our enemy looks like within, that's why the bhakti is journey within, because you have to uproot those. Krishna is not going to uproot. Krishna will help you, but you have to uproot because you have the attachment on those. Krishna doesn't have attachment. Krishna will help you. But we have to decide to uproot this. Okay, Mother, please go on.
Prabhuji,
Yes,
can I
Prabhuji.
ask a question Prabhu here?
Yes.
Prabhuji, it is said in one of these lines that thus it can be seen that the end result of karma kanda is to come to taste the holy name, at least if those activities are done properly. How can karma kanda activities done properly? That I don't understand.
Karma Kanda also has a rules regulation following the Veda. Karma Kanda is not a akarma or bikarma. Karma Kanda means you align with the scriptures, but you have your personal interest to enjoy. So you follow a particular scriptures. Just like in this country, everybody follows Bible, but if you really boils down to them that why you are going to church, they will say the same two things. I don't want to go to hell and I want to go to heaven. This is Karma Kanda section. Or if you go to Mecca in a particular month after Ramadan, they kill millions of goats, sheep. This is all Karma Kanda. They are also following Vedo indirectly, but they are Karma Kanda section. So, but you will see that actually they do have connection with God. It's not like they're disconnected. They also feel satisfied. But ultimate, you remember other day we discussed about the prime identity, the fundamental identity versus functional identity. So Karma Kanda falls under the category of
functional identity.
Very good, you caught it. Not fundamental identity. So most of the religion are actually on functional identity. And all the fights between the religion is based on functional identity. Nobody has any problem with fundamental identity. Well, you may say, well, they don't even talk about fundamental identity. That's true also. Because deep down on Jesus' teachings is almost like our Vedic. If they would give up eating meat, they would come almost like a basic foundation what we have. Christianity has that. But because they focus on those two things, they are also karmakandis in a sense. We'll discuss more after. Let's finish the reading and then we'll go on that.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Mother, go ahead.
Okay. The Lord and the Lord's name are one, for the Lord has invested in the name all his transcendental energies. Thus, he has made the chanting of the holy name the supreme process. As the Lord is completely independent and full of energies, he has by his will invested in Karmakanda activities, his material energy, and in Brahmagyana, his Nirvana energy. But in the holy name, he has invested all energies with all results. Why argue about why and how? The Lord can do what he wants. Therefore, the intelligent, learned man will not yield to interpreting the glorious names. If one happens to commit Arthavada, he should humbly go before an assembly of Vaishnavas who engage in discussion about Krishna and reveal his offense at their feet, begging sincerely for forgiveness. The devotees of the Lord, conversant with all the glories of the holy name, will mercifully forgive him and embrace him. The offense of interpreting or concocting will not occur again. If one happens to talk with one of these offenders, one should immediately, without taking off one's clothes, bathe in the Ganges for purification. If any pure water is not available, one should mentally purify oneself. He who has faith in the mercy of Krishna's dearest Sri Radharani wears this Harinama Chintamani as a necklace. Prabhuji, should I continue the next chapter also?
So Prabhu, when you also, oh, chapter 9? No. We finished chapter 8. Yes. Now, who understood about Orthobad? I would request you that to read Adilila 17 chapter dot 71. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu exhibited this offense himself here. You can look at in 73, text 73, what did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu do? Now, when you hear the glory of holy name, can you examine your heart and see whether you accept wholeheartedly the entire explanation, or you pick and choose? You take, well, I like this, but I don't know about that. What kind of mentality? Be honest to yourself and see exactly what you go through with your heart. Do you accept as it is? Do somebody has a Veda base in front of you? 73 text. And in Adilila, 17th chapter. And you can look at it. What did Mahaprabhu do? Mahaprabhu, he
Yes,
was
Prabhu.
glorifying the previous verse. Somebody else? Someone found it?
Yes,
Text
Prabhu, I found
73?
it. Yes, I found it.
Okay, go ahead, please read it, Mata. Can you read the sloka before? The
I'm not sure
translation,
what
just the translation.
I did the translation, yes. When a student interrupt the glories of the holy name as a prayer of exaggeration, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
No, the translation previous to. Mother Sheikh Kari, go the
Yes.
previous translation first.
72?
Yes.
Prabhuji, can you please
Oh,
refer
okay.
the sloka number again once? Adilila 17.
72. Okay. Once when
Okay.
the Lord explained the glories of the holy name to the devotees, some ordinary student who heard him fashioned their own interpretation.
Okay, hold on to it. Then you're going to read 73 and the purport. See
Okay.
what is happening here. When you hear the speaker or Shastra explaining the wonderful glorification of holy name or Krishna, but do we accept it as it is? That is the question. Or we interpret our own way. Do we accept some of it, not fully, or something I like, it makes sense, okay, I'll take that. Something I don't like, what Shastra said, I won't take. Examine your heart, please. This is where Orthobat can be stopped. Because if you accept without understanding, you will be blind follower. Eventually, you will give up. If something does not make sense, you can discuss with a senior devotee how to understand this. But if you reject it, then you are still remain in the offensive state. And if you don't want to accept it, also remain in the offensive state. Now let's see what Mahaprabhu did. The next verse. Mother said, please go ahead.
Yes, when a student interprets the glories of the holy name as a prayer of exaggeration, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, greatly unhappy, immediately warned everyone not to see the student face henceforward.
Wow. Purport?
Once when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained the glories of the transcendental potencies of the Lord's holy name, the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, one unfortunate student said that such glorification of the holy name was an exaggeration in the Shastra to induce people to take to it. In this way, the student interpreted the glories of the holy name. This is called Artha Vada, and it is one of the 10 offenses of the lotus feet of the holy name of the Lord. There are many kinds of offenses, but the offenses known as Nama Aparada, an offense at the lotus feet of the holy name, is extremely dangerous. The Lord therefore warned everyone not to see the face of the offender. The Lord immediately took a bath in the Ganges with all his clothes on to teach everyone to avoid such a nama apparatus. The holy name is identical with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is no difference between the person God and his holy name. This is the absolute position of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, one who distinguishes between the Lord and his name is called Pasandi, or non-believer, an atheistic demon. Glorification of the holy name is glorification of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One should never attempt to distinguish between the Lord and his name or interpret the glories of the holy name as mere exaggerations.
Very good. Can you read one more translation, next one, and then
Sure.
74.
Without even removing his garments, Lord Chaitanya took a bath in the Ganges with his companions. There he explained the glories of devotional service.
Very good.
There is no purport.
No, that's good. Thank you. Now you can see how deadly this offense Mahaprabhu was exhibiting in his own life with his associate. He didn't even take off the clothes. He thought just by hearing this Arthavad by the student, don't want to see his face, and he took bath with the clothes, that everything contaminated just by hearing. Now you may say that, how is this sound vibration is contaminating like this? Because it is offensive. We are made of knowledge. We are made of sound. Satchidananda means we are also made of knowledge. It is very important what we hear and how we protect ourselves not to hear. Now the question may come, if our faith is attacked internally or externally, what should we do? So I found Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur gives a very nice, interesting understanding. He said the approaches are different for both. Internal doubts can be dealt by going to devotees who know that subject. Please remember that. We have to learn what kind of devotee can address which kind of doubts. I come from I was born in a place where there was a deadly snakes. So I kind of grew up with a fear of cobra, because I faced cobra. I also got bitten by one time when I was 9 years old. So cobra was like, and in Mayapur, even in a deep flood, when there was a flood, we were swimming, not swimming, but water was up to like a neck and chest. We're going, and there's a cobra also going next to us I remember, it's like, I still remember those fearful scenery. How would you like to sleep at night with cobra on the bed? Anybody who's like, somebody say it's okay, he or she can sleep with the cobra? I mean, if you don't know cobra, that's different. But if you know cobra, how deadly it is. Then why you keep the doubts within you? What is the difference between cobra and the doubt? Prabhupada said is the same deadly poison. Because we are conscious being, try to understand. Cobra cannot destroy you. Cobra can destroy your body. He cannot destroy your mind. But doubt can destroy your mind and the consciousness. It is more deadly than cobra. If we are analytical, please remember this. I don't know each of you, how you are. You know, I hope you know about yourself. Ask, examine yourself. If you are analytical, try to understand. Then you need the association of someone who is analytical. Do not judge other devotee, because each devotee is unique And each devotee has a particular relationship with Krishna. This is a very important. You can avoid Vaishnava offense if you understand this part. If you are culturally oriented, I know some devotees are, then you need to association of someone who is culturally oriented. Basically, I'm trying to say we need spiritual guides and mentors who understand our mind, then help us. Understanding someone's mind means to step into the shoes of the seeker, isn't? And understand the problem from a seeker's perspective. Otherwise, situation will not improve. Generic advices like, why you think so much? I mean, I saw that. I used to do that too. Just chant Hare Krishna. Prabhu, I just, I have a, like, my mind is doubting. Like, don't doubt, just chant Hare Krishna. This is not actually a good way of helping. It is not help at all. But I did that. I know it's a common thing people generally amongst us, we think, just chant Hare Krishna, it will be okay. No, it is not going to go away, Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur says. It may grow bigger and bigger and bigger. Even in a mundane relationship. I know a family, particularly, she said he's supposed to come at 7 o'clock dinner time. Say, Prabhu, you are late. And he doesn't answer. He comes at 8:30 and she said, I'm waiting, sitting in this for you. He said, what do you think? I worked so hard for the family. And it went such a blastic, dramatic that the 3 days they didn't even talk each other. I'll never mention the name because I don't want anybody to find out. But they're wonderful devotee couple. So next time when he's late, she's thinking, I'm not going to call him. Because last time I had a confront and it lasted 3 days problem. I don't want to go through this. So I asked her, really? Like you think your problem is over if you don't confront? Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, you are suppressing. Suppression is not Krishna conscious or Vaishnavism. Why? Because one day it will blow up. When it blow up and the husband will say, oh my God, how is this happen? Well, it was just suppressed for months and years. Then one day it will blow up and he will think like he lives in another world. So what is the solution? Krishna says, 17th chapter, take Sattvagun. Prabhu, you are very important in my life. I am also important in your life. I care for you just like you care for me. There has to be mutual respect. There has to be caring. Otherwise, this movement will not grow healthy. Movement is growing, but there has to be good reciprocal, good understanding amongst the devotees. You probably heard this many times. Srila Rupa Goswami Pada emphasized like-minded association. Sato Sangha Sadhu Bhare. He said you have to have a like-minded association. Therefore, we need devotees for my doubts. But I really appeal to all of you, mothers and prabhus, do not sleep with a cobra, and worse than cobra, doubt. Do not keep the doubt in your heart. You should remove the doubt, anything about spiritual life. as fast as possible. You cannot ignore it. It's just suppressed. Ignoring means it's suppressed. One day it will blow up. And you may not like it at the time. It may go in a worse stage. So I boil down to this, that there are two kinds of doubts. One is head doubts, one is heart doubts. Heart. Head doubts are more intellectual. For example, I gave class to what's the Dominican Republic. They have a translator. So one devotee asked me a question that the path that Krishna took from Hastinapur to Dwarka is like we could not find the exactly route. That Krishna, the Bhagavatam depicts how Krishna went from one town to another village, meeting all the devotees, and he's reciprocating to each one. Finally, he arrived in Dwarka after a few days. We don't see exactly like this. Now, let me ask somebody, is Bhagavatam is to give you GPS map or what do you call geography? Do you use Bhagavatam for geography? Yes, no?
No, Prabhu.
Thank you. Bhagavatam is not a geography book. You want to learn where Krishna left Hastinapur, went to Dwarka, you can look at geography book. What is the purpose of Bhagavatam? Absorption in Krishna. Just like a second generation Gurukuli told me face to face, told me, I don't believe what Prabhupada says about the moon, that we never went to the moon. I said, the description of the moon, why don't you read, Prabhu? It's a beautiful heaven. The ladies don't conceive a child until they are about to depart. 10,000 years lifespan minimum. There is no baby. Everybody takes birth as a teenager. It's a beautiful garden, beautiful enjoyment place. But what the modern scientists say about the moon is a satellite with the rocks, no life. We're not talking the same moon. Of course, I gave him whole details for half an hour. And then he said, oh, now it makes sense. I said, well, you never ask another devotee. You keeping the doubt with you. Does it encourage you to chant? He said, no. A lot of doubt started coming after that. I said, that is the deadly danger. You have a doubt, you need to remove the doubt. I'm really serious. It's more poisonous than cobra, because cobra can only kill your body. It cannot destroy, intervene in your consciousness too much. So this is very important.
But Prabhu, I was told that certain doubts will get clarified only after we chant for certain number of years. Otherwise, they will still. I was told that because some doubts really need a lot of chanting to understand that level of philosophy or that concepts. Is that correct?
In that sense, just like I tried, I was talking to this couple. I said, can we demonstrate an example? He said, yes, Prabhu. I mean, they know me well. They love me a lot. So I said, how old is your daughter? He said, 2.5 years old. So let's talk about romantic life and make her attracted to it. Guess what happened? Nothing. After half an hour talking, she does not even buzz. She's like busy in her Beanie Babies game. Barbie doll. So maturity is required, eligibility is required. Yes, not all doubt will move. You have to grow spiritually through chanting to a platform where you can receive further. But doubt is a sign of intelligence. You have to go to a person who can actually come down to your level and explain. But sleeping with the doubt or keeping the doubt in heart, and you cannot progress further. If doubt has come to you, that's why I always hammer this point that people doubt their belief. They doubt their belief. First of all, they have belief and they start doubting. And guess what happened? They do? They start believing the doubt. First they doubt the belief, then they start believing the doubt. Very rare I find somebody actually doubts the doubt. If you can doubt the doubt, then you will go to a person who can remove the doubt. And it's needed. So Srimad Bhagavatam, as I mentioned, is not a geographical knowledge. It is specific purpose to absorb in Krishna, how he reciprocates with the devotees. So this is called head doubt. You follow? Head. Now the heart doubt. What is heart doubt? Just a short. If people ask question, then we need to see what kind of people they are. If they are asking genuine questions, then we should answer them. If people simply criticize everything out of habit, it is better to keep a safe distance from them. I'm really telling you from my own experience. They are not here to hear you. They just want to state what they feel like to criticize about particular person or the movement or whatever. It's better you keep safe distance. That is healthier. One of the keys in having healthy relationship is do not overvalue people who devalue you. If someone devalues our faith, then do not overvalue their ideas. We should rather value those who value us.
Prabhu, one question here, Prabhu. Sometimes it may not be, I don't know what to say, it may not be like a doubt, but in an early stages of a devotion, your faith is still not that very strong. So sometimes when you read things which are inconceivable to understand, you may not be able to, for example, the holy name, like we read the 23 points of it is highest kind of things. Maybe in the early stages of devotion, it is like that student which Mahaprabhu said, probably we might not get that real feeling that yes, the mantra nama is that kind of thing. As we progress, we might get, but in an early stages, if you are still unable to accept it 100% because we don't have that realization, what is that phase, Prabhu, and what do we need to do in that phase?
This is very nice. Srila Prabhupada, that's why he brings those examples. You may not be able to see the pole star with naked eye, but going to someone senior means they have a telescope. They can bring the pole star very close to your eye, not like a closest, but at least you'll be able to point out, oh, there it is. But without telescope, maybe it's difficult to see in naked eye. So sadhu sangha means who gives you understanding, just like Prabhupada gave an example. If a girl wants a child and she met this guy and say, hey, I want a child, I want to marry you. Now, is it like she's going to get a child tomorrow? No. She has to marry him. She, of course, first of all, she has to like him and, he has to like her. It's not like this is a true example of one funny devotee told me, because I was talking about relationship important with Krishna, how important the relationship properly. So there is an example of a girl, it's a true story. happened in India. She used to go to school and no boys approached her for marriage. So she noticed most of her friends got married. So one day she went to a boy. He said, "Hey, why don't you marry me?" He said, "Who are you?" He said, "Well, my name is Ratna. Marry me." He said, "Why should I marry you?" "Because nobody married me, so you should marry me." Now, is that a good logic? Because nobody married me, you should marry me. You know, there has to be nature, character, all these things has to be sorted out. They have to have a common understanding, you know, liking, disliking, so many things. That's the girl has to marry, has to develop a desire to serve the husband. And even if she gets pregnant, she has to wait for 9 months or 10 months, whatever the baby. So similarly, but you can look at one key point in this. The girl has an idea to have a child. That is maintained in entire whole year that she went through pregnancy and serving husband, isn't? So similarly, when you have a good shelter of a senior devotee, a Shiksha Guru or whoever senior devotee is, then you have a hope that it will happen and you continue your journey, but your doubt is not a doubt anymore. It is just you seeing that it will, in a due course of time, very soon it will be revealed. It will be gone. So in that case, it is a heart doubt. It's not dangerous. It will be revealed in due course of time. Just like she wants a child, in due course of time, after a year, the child will come out. But she is not like a hopeless. She's not giving up hope. She's like, yeah, I got pregnant. Okay, it will take time. The baby is growing. She's in a different world. So something like that. If we have a doubt, if we go to a senior devotee who cares for us, Snigdha. You saw ever, I don't know, in your town, if you ever saw that when the calf comes to the mother cow, when a man wants to go get milk, he has to get the calf to try it out to get the milk. But when calf goes to the mother cow, baby calf doesn't have to talk to mother. Automatically milk comes out. Why?
Correct.
Why? Because affection. Mother has an affection. When senior devotee has an affection for me, then he will give me that nourishment through example, through even prayers. Even the senior devotee may pray for me, and Krishna will allow me to have that access of removing the doubt. So you have to go to a devotee who actually cares for me, who has affection for me, who also wants me to be successful in spiritual path. So when you find somebody like this, then you can approach and you will see, you will feel satisfied. Is that okay?
Understand, Prabhu.
Okay. So I will end here with this last question. Somebody just sent me text. Is it that pronunciation as well as the intent, both are important, or is it intent alone that matters from your lecture? Well, I'm going to say a few words. This person is listening in the Facebook. Actually, Krishna is bhavagrahi. Everybody heard that word, bhavagrahi? There's a famous verse. Did you ever have a doubt? Anybody has ever doubt? Am I progressing? Am I going to get the result? Or I think it will happen. Then after a few hours or few days, well, how do I know I'm progressing? How do I know actually I'm going to get Krishna Prem? Sometimes doubt is coming or not. Yes or no?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Shastra says this. If you know Sanskrit, you will know. I'm not a genius on Sanskrit, but I understand enough. Siddhir bhavati ba neiti sangsaya achyuta sevinam. Siddhir bhavati, am I going to be successful? Or neiti, or not? Sangsaya means doubt. Doubt is coming. Shastra knows this. So then the next verse he says, Siddhir bhavati vaneiti samsaya achyuta sevinam. Nishamsayastu, without doubt. If they want to be completely without doubt, what we should do? Anybody has Bhagavad Gita right here? 7.1. Krishna gives one solution, and I'm going to give you another solution. 7.1, Krishna says, undoubtedly you can know me completely, but you have to do one thing. What do you think? Without reading it.
Tat Shrinu, here.
You have to hear.
Yeah.
You have to hear, but with the hear, some results supposed to come also in that verse it says. Maya Shakta Mana Partha. You have to be attached. When you hear, make sure you are feeling attachment towards me. Do you feel some closeness with Krishna? Then doubt will disappear, Krishna says in that verse. Now, this verse says, Asamsayastu tad bhakta paricharjaratatmana. Make sure you serve a good devotee who cares for your spiritual success. So Krishna is Bhavagrahi. So primarily what he looks at is the intent. Please remember that. Primarily he's looking the intent of Kara, intent of Aruna Nayana Prabhu. Krishna is right now, he's looking the intent of Mother Nilambari Radha Devi. Every devotee is here. Krishna is actually, you may think like, oh, I'm looking at Pran Govinda Das, he's looking at me. No, in between there is a Krishna in between right now. He's looking what is your intent. At the same time, intent also needs to be expressed through action. Krishna is looking at our intent, but we have to also express. That's why in the beginning, Prabhupada never supported to chant quietly. You'll see sometime, don't judge please, it's scary. But then you'll see some devotee like going with the bead bag, no sound coming. Hare Krishna. Hare. Some word once in a while pops, but you don't know what they're chanting. Shastra doesn't recommend. You look at 3.1, Bhagavad Gita 3.1, in the purport, middle, Prabhupada said, we do not, until you trained in Krishna consciousness philosophy, you are not, something like that I'm paraphrasing, you are not suggested to chant in a lonely place, means quietly, hidingly. Somewhere in the middle purport you'll see, 3.1. Because Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur quoted the same thing. And if you find it, you can read it loud so other can hear also.
I found it.
Okay, go ahead.
Sometimes Krishna consciousness is misunderstood to be inertia, and one with such a misunderstanding often withdraws to a secluded place to become fully Krishna consciousness by chanting the holy name of Krishna. But without being trained in the philosophy of Krishna consciousness, it is not advisable to chant the holy name of Krishna in a secluded place where one may acquire only cheap adoration from the innocent public.
Very good. Thank you. Sometime actually even in my mind, I was thinking like, I want to go to a place where I can chant peacefully, cheap, like quiet. I'll be like a, but then I asked the question, why? What am I trying to get? What am I trying to achieve? It is not the quiet chanting going to give us. It is what realization I have inside. Prabhupada very clearly said, Rupa Goswami Pad very clearly said, what understanding you have, how much you have faith, how much you have accepted what you're hearing, this will produce the result of your chanting, not like a lockdown or a cave or a, I don't know, dungeon, underground or something. No, it is not going to give you there. Rather, you may fall asleep and forget about chanting. So it is not the quiet place. Everybody understand this point. This is very crucial what Prabhupada is trying to say. You need to be trained. We have to be trained with the philosophy. Then our chanting will produce the result. This is very important. So I'll end with this, that just like we have a principle of Manasa Puja. Everybody is familiar with the Manasa Puja in Nectar of Devotion. It's the one book I love the most. I mean, I love actually Bhagavatam also. A person can just worship Krishna in the mind. In the mind, they can say, I want to offer garlands. I want to offer necklace. I want to jewels to Krishna. That is also accepted as a form of bhakti. But Manasa Puja is not an excuse for not doing the actual puja. This is very important. It is when we cannot do actual puja at that time. The Nectar of Devotion did not say the rich man was doing Manasa Puja. He was a poor, he did not have anything. But he heard that Manasa Puja in the mind, he can do that. But if you have a money, you think, I'm not going to cook. I'll just in mind, I'll offer Krishna sweet rice. This is not suggested. Please don't misunderstand. This is very important. Just because we are not able to do the actual puja, Krishna accepts the intention of the mind also. But if somebody has or somebody says, oh, in my mind, gave a millions of dollars to Krishna. But in real life, I don't give anything. So if Manasa Puja becomes an excuse for not doing any effort practically, that is undesirable. The point is that if there are certain material restrictions which do not allow us to serve Krishna practically, then the principle of Manasa Puja is the restriction may impede a specific form of service, isn't it? But the restriction cannot stop us from connecting with Krishna. That is the point. When I cannot do something practically, still in my mind I can do it. I will be connected with Krishna. But if I am sincere, then I will not be just satisfied by doing in my mind. I will also do it practically. You know, I tell you very honestly, from my house to the temple is about 7 to 8 minutes drive. Sometimes I'm chanting while I'm driving. Most of the time I don't even notice I already entering in the temple parking lot. And I look, wow, did I take left turn, right turn? Yeah, I did all those because it's a habit. So physical practice, chanting, hearing, these are more important right now. And after preaching and hearing, when your heart is getting completely packed, full, then natural meditation will come. That is genuine, natural.
Prabhuji, you were quoting about a sloka, Siddhir Bhavati. Can you give that reference again?
Nishangshastu tad bhakta paricharja ratatmana. I will find that verse in my book and I'll put it on the WhatsApp group. You all can have it.
Okay, Prabhu, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I'll end here. I need few reflection. What are you taking from today's class? Someone.
We need to start having increasing our faith and strong conviction that the name is everything and it will start giving the desired results of Krishna Prema.
Very good. Very good. Because you remember, devoid of three things, Namaparad, Namavas, and Bhavadan. Bhavadan means, actually it's true. Most of the devotees don't think sometimes that the holy name is Krishna. But it is Krishna. Mother Shreyakari was very nicely put it. I think was it her? Yeah, I think so. The Prabhupada mentioned the progression in our spiritual progress, in a spiritual path, depends on the, who remembers? Attitude. It is very important. So in our devotional, if I can maintain the devotional attitude, yes, Krishna and his name is same. This holy name is Supreme Lord, possessor of 6 opulences. And you can go on this 23 list. This is Krishna. And with that mood, you start chanting. After 30 days, every day you talk to your mind, it will become a habit. Yes, it is Krishna. And you'll be surprised. Bhavadan will be disappearing. Your name will start sprouting. Such a wonderful journey. Okay, that's very nice. One more.
Not to sleep with the cobra.
Well, that was a metaphor.
Doubts, Prabhu, doubts.
Thank you. Actually, if you have a book, Bhagavad Gita 8.2, Prabhupada said that doubt is like a demon. Prabhupada even made it very heavy, scary. 8.2 has as a Krishna, I think Arjuna addressed Krishna as a Madhusudan in that verse, 8.2. And Prabhupada said doubt is like a demon. So he asked Krishna to remove the demon. He's an expert of killing demon. I don't know if you find it, you can tell me. I really request you all, why don't you reciprocate? Reciprocate with Krishna every day. Prabhu, I have this problem. Don't only talk about problem. I don't think it is nice, to talk to the Lord only your problem. Appreciate. Because spiritual world is filled with appreciation because they don't have any problem, but they appreciate.
Since Krishna is so expert in killing demons, Arjuna here addresses him as Madhusudana so that Krishna might kill the demoniac doubts that arise in Arjuna's mind.
Yes. So doubt is a demonic. How do you feel to sleep with a demon on your bed? Oh God. Thank you.
One more point, what you said, Prabhu, is if you are aware that I wanted to get out of it, then you will get out from that habit.
Yes.
You are conscious.
Yes.
You are conscious that you want to get out. Then only
Yes.
you'll be able to come out.
Very nice. One day we'll discuss about the willpower. It's so powerful. It is within you. And Krishna, even 11th canto, he said, with the willpower, you can become pure devotee. I was thinking, wow, Krishna didn't say even guru or other or shastra or holy name. He said, willpower is so powerful. And I see that. Sometimes I wonder why I'm not sick. The last 2 years, I don't get even any sick. What is going on? It is Krishna. Because the willpower, Krishna reciprocate. I don't want to get sick. I just want to just keep on going. And willpower is so powerful. It is within us. Krishna gave us. Please use it. Don't be negative, please. I mean, I know you're not negative, but I'm just warning to myself. Thank you so much. I'll end here.